Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Give us just a moment here to go live on all the different platforms before we get started. But we're going to go over our live rates here today for a few different programs, and then we are going to go ahead and do a deep dive into bank statement loans. Great topic here for today because it's a very popular product, especially in the last few years. And it looks like we're live on all the platforms, so we'll go ahead and get it started here. We'll go ahead and take the chat off the screen for now, but please keep dropping comments in there. Appreciate that. And you can drop any questions you have in the chat as well. We'd be happy to answer them after the presentation. So welcome, everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey, and our CSO, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans. And what we do every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern on this show is go through our actual live mortgage rates. Then we do a deep dive into a different loan type. And again, today's loan type is going to be bank statement loans. So we'll turn it over to Jose here in a little bit to go over those. But first, let's talk about the rates for today. So Nick, if you're ready, let's go ahead and pull up today's rates.
All right. So not so great news the last few days for rates, but still at 1-year lows here. So we will compare all the programs. Today is Monday, October 7th, just after 11 a.m. So all of our standard programs have their initial rate sheets for today. And we'll compare the APR across the programs. If you'd like a full breakdown and itemized loan estimate that itemizes all the fees that go into the APR, please get with our team members. They'd be happy to send that over. For the demo, as we do every day, we set up a standard scenario, single family home, 500,000 purchase, 400,000 loan amount, corresponds to 80% loan, 20% down payment. And we use estimated 760 FICO credit score and an estimated 40% debt to income ratio. So with those settings, let me go ahead and share my screen here and check out the rates for today. So first up is our 30-year fixed conventional for a primary home. This is the most common option people think of when they think of a mortgage. Rates coming in today at 6.00, final APR 6.324 with all of the fees included. And if for any reason our customer doesn't qualify for a conventional option, we typically want to quote an FHA option to compare. FHA allows more leniency on credit issues and a higher overall debt to income ratio, but it does require upfront and yearly mortgage insurance. Rates today, 5.25. Final APR with all the fees and mortgage insurance, 6.145. So notice when our customer qualifies for both, they may want to consider FHA. It could be a touch cheaper, but does require that yearly mortgage insurance. And if our customer needs to use FHA, definitely a great option. Moving on to our VA for our eligible service members and veterans. If you are eligible, these programs are amazing. Rates as low as 5.25. Final APR 5.542 with a standard funding fee here. And when we compare across the other programs, VA is obviously going to be the best option. Much lower overall APR. Definitely a benefit for our veterans and service members. And the final option that every banker lender has is USDA, only for properties in the rural areas of the country, USDA eligible areas. If the property is eligible and our borrower is eligible, this is a great option to compare. Rates today, 5.25. Final APR with all the fees, 5.984. So we compare that to FHA. It will be a touch cheaper if our customers shopping in those areas. So definitely look to USDA for that. And obviously a touch cheaper than conventional as well. And that rounds out the standard options that every banker lender has. But if our customer doesn't qualify with any of the 4 standard options, many banks or lenders have to deny them. That's where we love to come in with our 5,000 additional loan programs. First up, our 30-year fixed non-QM alt-doc option for a primary home. So if our borrower doesn't qualify for conventional or FHA using tax returns, etc., standard documentation, we can switch to alternative docs such as bank statements, our topic for today, 1099s, asset-related, P&Ls, all kinds of different options. Today's option for a bank statement comes in at 6.125, final APR 6.450. Very close to conventional today, almost identical, absolutely amazing. Our customers just switched to alternative docs without much more cost there. So great option. And we have tons of options for investment properties. So our non-QM alt doc option for an investment property comes in today 6.625 for a bank statement option, final APR 6.964. And we'll compare that to the other investment property options here. First up is our conventional option. There are no government options, so no USDA, FHA, or VA, but conventional comes in 6.5 rate, final APR 6.825. And we'll compare that to our favorite option, our DSCR. No income or employment information needed from our borrower. We simply use the estimated rents from the appraisal to determine a DSCR ratio. If the estimated rents are greater than the estimated expenses, that's a ratio of 1 or higher, aka the property will cash flow, which is preferred. And with a 3-year prepayment penalty, which is standard, rates today coming in 6.375, final APR 6.682, beating conventional. That's amazing. And we can even add a 5-year prepayment penalty to some options. Rates as low as 6.125, final APR 6.425, which beats conventional as well. And the final DSCR we present on this show is our no prepayment penalty option, which some states don't allow. Rates come today 6.625, final APR 6.964, so a touch above conventional. I still say 100% of investors prefer DSCR to conventional, even at a higher cost. So this is a great option. But if you can add a prepayment penalty, the 3 and 5 years are even better. And our final options we go through every day on the live demo are new programs, our 30-year fixed second mortgages. These are alternative to HELOCs, which is typically the only option for our customer to get a second mortgage and not have to adjust their first mortgage or refinance their first mortgage because they have lower rates than what we can see today. So to get cash out still out of their property without using a HELOC, we can use a fixed rate second mortgage for a primary home. Rates as low as 8.499, much lower than a HELOC. Final APR 8.943. And our investors can use the same option. HELOCs are very rare for investment properties, so this 30-year fixed second mortgage is great. Rate as low as 9.375, final APR 9.716. And these are both non-QM programs, so we can use bank statements, 1099s, asset-related, etc. Let's switch into today's topic. So since we do our live demo, we have thousands of programs and options and variations under these large categories. So thankfully, Jose will go through our favorite non-QM alt-doc category of bank statements, the most popular, and show some of these specific options. Since we only see one option every day on the live demo, there are all kinds of variations and things to consider when we're going through these options. So Jose, let's check out our best bank statement options today.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Bank statement loans are for our self-employed borrowers. We recently went over the 1099 borrower loans. Remember those? Those let us use 90% of the face value of the 1099. Bank statement loans are a little bit different. There is an expense factor involved. It could be anywhere from 20%, meaning you will receive 80% of the deposits as income. And the expense factor could go as high as 60, 70, and even 80%, depending on if it's a business that has a business model with a lot of overhead, a lot of employees, a lot of fixed expenses, a lot of machinery. That business would obviously have a higher expense factor, and you would be able to attain less of the deposits as income. To our options today, for our bank statement options for primary purchases and investment properties. As with all non-QM loans, maximum loan to value is 90%. So the minimum down payment is 10% for our primary option here. Lowest cost option is 8.25 at par, and you can buy that down all the way to 7.5%. For our 10% down primary purchase option using bank statements. For an investment property purchase, 15% down is the minimum down payment, so you will be at 85% loan to value. 8.374 is our lowest cost option, and you can buy that down all the way to 6.999%. For our 85% LTV investment purchase using bank statements. And now for our lower credit score borrowers, 600 is the minimum credit score for this option. 80% LTV is still possible even with only a 600 credit score, which is amazing. 10.625 is our lowest cost option at par, and you can buy that down all the way to 8.999. at a cost of 3.375 points for our 600 credit score, 20% down investment property. That is possible also for primary residences, also 80%. And now for some cash out options, 80% LTV max here. We're looking at, let's give you the lowest cost option is 7.625 at par, and you can buy that down all the way to 6.499 at a cost of 2.5 points. And our investment cash out refinance, 80% LTV. Our lowest cost option is 7.625 at par, and you can buy that down all the way to 6.25. Wow, at a cost of 3.25 points. And our last option here is our low credit score option. Again, minimum 600 credit score for this option. 75% LTV is the maximum at this credit score for the cash out refi. And our lowest cost option is 10.875 at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 9.2 loan with a 600 credit score. Many great options here for our bank statement loan, so please do look to the mortgage calculator for all of your bank statement loan options.
All right. I do not see any questions. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But again, probably most, well, definitely the most popular non-QM loan out there. So definitely for loan officers, something to make sure you're very familiar with because it's going to come up a lot. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Remember, oh, hold on, we do have a question that just came in. Question is for the LTV at 90% for the primary purchase. Is there a minimum credit score?
Depending on the investor, you're looking at anywhere from 700 to a 720. Definitely 700 minimum. You're not going to have anything below a 700 reach 90% LTV.
All right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up then. Remember that we do this show at 11 a.m. Eastern every weekday where we go through our live rates and then do a deep dive into different loan types. So we'll be back tomorrow with a new loan type. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the next episode of Daily Rates Live.